So, by now, you probably know the importance of sleep and why sleep is so important for brain function. In this video, I will talk a little bit more about its importance because it really is truly important, and why problems like sleep apnea can have so devastating consequences in terms of your cognition. So sleep is important because that's when cleansing of your brain takes place. Inside of neurons, we have this space called the um, extracellular space outside of neurons, outside of the nerve cells of the brain. And what happens is when you sleep, the space actually expands and more magnesium and calcium can flow through it. And when this happens, we're literally able to flush out various toxins in the brain, such as amyloid beta, that can contribute to Alzheimer's. So this cerebrospinal fluid in between nerve cells can literally flush out this beta amyloid. Clearly important. Another reason why is sleep is also associated with less formation of the amyloid. So there's this protein APP that can either form a devastating quartet of molecules or a beneficial duo of molecules. And the quartet has the beta amyloid, the duo doesn't. So when you get proper sleep, you allow this APP protein to be cut or cleaved in a certain way to reduce beta amyloid production. So not only you're clearing it out, you're making less of it in the first place. So that's why sleep is so important, because you're making less beta amyloid and you're getting rid of more of it as well. Now, sleep also improves your insulin sensitivity. Why? Because you're not eating. Every time you eat, your insulin spikes. And of course, if you eat carbs, it will spike more, but whatever meal you eat, it will spike. The only thing that doesn't spike is maybe water or other beverages that don't have any calories in them. But anytime you eat, not only carbs, even protein, and to a very low extent, even fats, but the least amount is fats, they can still, if you have a meal, you're still going to get an instant spike. But when you sleep, you actually undergo something intermittent fasting. And that's why I highly encourage people to go for 12, 14, maybe even up to 16 hours. If you go much longer, maybe talk to your doctor. But 12, 14, 16 hours without food is very good. And when you sleep, it's so easy to do that. And that's why it's important. You're improving your insulin sensitivity. Similar benefits as if you would exercise after a meal. You would also allow, you would also improve your insulin sensitivity, right? And of course, reducing your carb consumption. But allowing a bigger amount of time without food, like 12, 14 hours and 16 hours, and especially not eating maybe 3 to 4 hours before bed, will actually improve your insulin sensitivity because you're not eating. That's the benefit of fasting. In this case, intermittent fasting, which I highly encourage. So you're getting rid of beta amyloid, you're making less of it, you're improving your insulin sensitivity, which is in itself a hallmark of Alzheimer's, as we saw. If you have very high levels of insulin, which will happen if you eat all the time, especially if you eat carbs, but even if you eat all the time, right? If you don't undergo restricted eating, if you just constantly eat, well, you're eventually going to get insulin sensitivity, which means insulin will not act as a tropic factor, and that will increase your risk for type 2 Alzheimer's. Now, also by increasing your insulin, there's an enzyme that called IDE that breaks down insulin. And the more insulin you break down, the less of that enzyme can break down beta amyloid, its other target. So again, you're gonna get beta amyloid accumulation. So you're gonna be more resistant to insulin. And then in addition to that, you're gonna make more beta amyloid as a result. Another reason why you need sleep is because when you sleep, you clear out damaged proteins. And not only damaged proteins, also other cellular components, including mitochondria, which are very important for energy. And so you're literally able to make fresh new mitochondria, energy powerhouses. And you need these energy mitochondria to power your brain. And so that's why it's so important for sleep. You're literally making fresh mitochondria. You're making more energy for your brain. And the last thing, when you sleep, you're also making human growth hormone. And human growth hormone is important to repair cells, to make more nerve cells, how important that is to prevent cognitive decline. And all of that. And so you don't get all this repair from the growth hormone if you don't get high quality sleep. And that's why I track my sleep with an Oura ring, which tells you how the quality of sleep, how deep it is and how restorative it is, specifically deep and REM sleep. And there's many sleep hygiene strategies that you can undergo to improve your sleep, to improve brain function and reduce the risk of Alzheimer's. You know, poor sleep not only increases the risk of Alzheimer's, but increases the risk of a bunch of other disease like obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease, which are in themselves risk factors for Alzheimer's. So if you want good brain function, you need your sleep. What do I do to improve my sleep? I have a special thing. It's called the Cube. It used to be known the Chili Pad, and this thing I do to keep the temperature at around 65 degrees Fahrenheit, which is ideal for sleep. You want to keep it cool. I also have blackout curtains and an eye mask right here, which is very beneficial to keep your room dark. That's really important to allow melatonin to be produced. Melatonin is also a very powerful anti-inflammatory, so it's very good for health and anti-aging as well. So keep it dark before bed, and also your lights should not emit any blue. I use blue light blocking glasses, special glasses that filter the blue light, and I have those actually right here, and I wear them as well. And so that's another important thing. So keep it dark, remove the blue light 2 hours or an hour and a half to 2 hours before bed, and get morning sunlight. Sun is very important. Move throughout the day. Keep your room cool, and yeah, and then have some type of wind down routine before bed. Stress and anxiety is not good. And then actually having a consistent schedule is also very important. And this is actually very important specifically for REM sleep. The colder temperature helps with the deep sleep a lot. That's why I use the Cube or the Chili Pad. There's also the Uller system, and there's many devices that you can use to keep it cool. But the consistent sleep schedule is very, very important for the REM sleep. Another cool thing, another way to improve REM sleep, according to many people that I've been looking at YouTube, is to take a few drops of this mushroom called lion's mane. And it will be interesting to see if taking more lion's mane increases your score for your REM sleep. And some people were comparing CBD and lion's mane for which one does better for improving REM sleep. So sleep is very important for brain function. I hope you guys are clear why. It removes your beta amyloid to prevent plaque and Alzheimer's disease and other neurodegenerative conditions. It causes less of it to be made, more of it to be cleared, allow you to make healthy new mitochondria, allow you to properly repair your body via the production of growth hormone. And yeah, it's just so important, right? To flush out toxins and to fully repair, to have a regenerative and a restorative sleep. So ensure that you get enough of it, because that is really important, and use some of the techniques that I've been talking about. What is one thing that you can do today to improve your sleep? Leave it in the comment section. Is it keeping the room dark? Is it keeping it cool at 65 degrees Fahrenheit? Or is it wearing blue light blocking glasses that can filter out blue light? Try to do one thing. And actually, taking cold showers can also be beneficial to keep your room cool, or using a system like a Chili Pad, or now it's called the Cube that I use here. There's many ways that you can improve your sleep, as well as taking a magnesium supplement. Magnesium kind of relaxes you and increases glycine and GABA, right? So GABA is an inhibitory neurotransmitter that relaxes you. So taking a magnesium supplement like a magnesium glycinate, or even a magnesium threonate, which has been shown to be very good for the brain, any of those types can improve your sleep as well. Okay, so good night, and ensure that if you want a good brain function, make sure that you get enough sleep.